What's going on YouTube? Welcome to Backyard Jeeping. My name is Jarek, and today I have a nice little unboxing and install for you guys. So please like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment down below. Also check out the Instagram and the Facebook at Backyard Jeeping, as well as the online store, backyardjeeping.com, where you can get air intakes, speakers, wiring, lighting, shirts, decals, and more. Links for all that would be down in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So as you see, I got a pretty nice aux beam box sitting beside of me. Now what's inside this box is going to clean up your engine bay from any crazy wires that you got going. It's going to clean up all those extra relays that you got and just make everything look a little bit neater and just be a little bit more safer, help prevent fires, electrical problems, stuff like that. So inside this box is a 6-gang switch panel. Now you do have an option of getting the 6 or the 8, and you also have an option of getting a blue LED or the red LED. I went with the blue 6 because I don't think that I'll ever have 8 accessories going to a switch panel, but if I ever do, of course, I can always upgrade to the 8-gang. Now this is going to be a new product on backyardjeeping.com. It's also new to me, but it's not new in general. It's just something that I had just recently discovered. And with everything that I'm going to be doing inside the engine bay, it's going to make everything look a lot cleaner, rather than having like the blue C system fuse block where you're running everything to that, then all those external relays. It's just going to keep everything nice and neat and help prevent any engine fires and stuff like that from the electrical that you have running. So let's go ahead and jump inside this box and see what's all in there, and then we'll get it installed. So let's go ahead and get this box open and see what's all inside. Again, you can get this off backyardjeeping.com. Link will be down in the description below. So you get your 6-gang switch panel systems little installation guide. If you want, you can pause and take a screenshot of that. And this also. And it's got the picture, so you know Backyard Jeeping likes pictures. It dumbs it down for us. Alright, and here's your stickers that'll actually go onto your switch panel. I thought this one was pretty funny. It says fish box. So you got a few options here. You also have your blanks, which they said that these are reusable, so we'll see about that. You got some mounting hardware. Also comes with 2 Allens. You have your extra fuses, just in case. Here's your actual switches here. It says aux beam at the top. Made out of aluminum. Has a nice little rolled bezel there. These are click. And they will illuminate blue. And also you have the blue or the green option. Here is the back. Another nice little thing is you can just tuck the wire right in there whenever you go to mount it. On off. And this does have a memory option also. So if you were to say click on your rock lights and say your pod lights, turn everything off. Whenever you go to turn everything back on, it'll automatically have your rock lights and your pod lights on. So it does have a memory feature there. And then you have just some 3M tape that you can use to mount, which I won't be using. Here is your wiring and your connectors. Now keep this in mind, you do have to connect these the right way. If you do it the wrong way, you can mess the whole system up. But I'll go into detail about that later on. It already has a wire loom around it. Really, really nice. You have an ADAFuse. So you'll use this for your ACC. So that way the system only comes on whenever you have your key turned. If not, it's going to constantly draw power. And here's your mounting brackets for the switches. Has a really, really nice finish on them. Aluminum also. And here is the big boy here. You also got some zip ties in there. And here's the actual switch panel itself. Everything is inside of here. All your fuses and your relays. The only thing that I don't like is that you only have about 4 foot to play with to connect to the battery. Now you can extend this, but I don't have any wire lugs at the moment, so I can't really do that right now. So I'm going to work with what I got. You also have your ground wire, and the red wire goes to the other end of the antifuse. And here's what the inside looks like. So you got your 6 relays and 6 fuses, 5, 2 10s, 2 20s, and a 30. Here's where you connect your power wires to. And then you just ground it off to the battery or to a ground on the vehicle. In my case, onto the Jeep. Now, I believe the 8 gang has it to where you ground and you use your power in here. But where this is just the 6 one, you have to ground it to either the body or a ground within the Jeep somewhere or to the battery, which I'm just going to run them to the battery. Alright, so I got everything mounted. I didn't want to bore you guys with the mounting process. It's just simple, just 2 screws. And then find a place to mount it, which I was mounting it right here, but I have the Trailhead Off-Road Cal Air intake. So right here was the next best place. I just have it loosely mounted because I had to connect my power wires for my pod lights. So I have my power wires going in and they're just screwed down. And I have my grounds routed right here through here and then onto the battery here. Now I still have to connect my ground for the actual switch panel. But first I wanted to do my antifuse. So right here is the antifuse. It does already come with one in it. So then you can determine whether you want to use the fuse inside the engine bay or if you want to, extend this wire to go into the cabin. I'm just going to use this here. Used a circuit finder to, figure out which fuse only works whenever the engine is either on the auxiliary position or completely turned on and doesn't have any power going to it while the Jeep is off. Because if not, then you're going to completely drain your system because this doesn't know when to turn off. That's why they do the antifuse. So I'm just going to, it already comes with the connector on there, so you can just put it in there and crimp it down once I find my crimping tool. I'll just use this, put that in there, and then just crimp it down. So you can also put shrink tubing on here, but I'm eventually going to end up shortening this wire or even extending it to go into the engine bay. But for today, just to get this over with and for video purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. So I went ahead and just crimped both sides down. And I've determined that the fuse that I'm going to use is this 15 right here. I just used a circuit tester with the light on it to figure out which one of these fuses doesn't have power going to it all the time and which one uses it whenever or has power going to it when the Jeep is either turned into the auxiliary position or all the way on. And this 15 right here will work perfect. And I don't know where my fuse, I'll just use these here. Alright, so then you pull your fuse out. Then there's a spot in front of the fuse that's already in there. You just add your fuse that you pulled out. Make sure it's in there all the way. Just like that. And then just connect it back into the spot that it was in. Just like that. Now I did have to notch the top of the fuse box cover. Had to notch it out right here for the wire. But I'll just tuck those down there for now. And then I'll get it cleaned up later on once I actually extend that wire out into the cabin to use the fuse panel that's over here on the passenger side. Just like that. Alright, so that's connected there. Tighten this side down just a little bit more. Alright, so the ground side is done. I still just have to connect the power. That the positive and the ground is connected. Now we can get to the wiring here. So, I want to pay attention to whenever you get to this part, because if you end up putting it upside down, it's going to fry the system out, and you do not want that because then you're getting another one. So if you look here, there's a notch at the top, and there's also an arrow. So there's also an arrow on here. Not sure if you can see that, but you want to make sure that that arrow and the arrow on here is facing each other, and that the little slit in there goes inside that notch. If not, it's going to be connected wrong, and trust me, that is not something that you want, because then, like I said, you'll be getting another one. The way that you know that you have the right side going to this box and not the switches is this side will have your little twist cap on it. So that's way you know that this one goes to this, and then on your actual switch it has the twist cap. The other side on this wiring doesn't. So then you know that this side goes to your switch panel in the engine bay, and this side goes to the actual switches. This side is connected. So then we can go to our actual switches here and pull that down some. I'll find the arrow on it. Find the notch that's cut out. Take this here. Up there at the top is the, I guess, the nipple for it. Go ahead and connect them together. And if you see on there, if you can see, it has the two arrows facing each other. So that's right. And you just twist it on. And that part's done. Okay. I have the garage door shut. We have everything connected. I'm going to go ahead and just prop this up right here. Because right now, as you see, it's not going to work because we don't have any power going to our ACC yet. So let me prop that up right there. Please stay. What do we got there, folks? Oh, I see blue. Oh yeah, so as you can see, we got some power going to it now. Again, the on-off option, it only works for your switches. So this is why you need to have it hooked into an ACC, because if not, it's going to constantly get power to it, and then it's just going to drain your system over time. So, whoa, pod lights came on. That's awesome. That's switch number 1 there. And then turn it off. I'll go ahead and turn it on. I'll press the off button on here. As you can see, it's off. And like I said in the beginning, it does have a memory option. So let's just go ahead and hit on. And the pod lights automatically come on. So that's pretty neat. I can hear the relays clicking on and off in the box. So that's awesome. All right, so now that we know that this works and that everything is connected up correctly, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal again. And we'll run this wire all the way over and in through the cab. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to mount it inside the cab. All right, guys, we are inside the cab of the Jeep. We are on the home stretch. We're almost completely done with this. So I went ahead and ran my wiring into here. I just used the factory grommet, pushed it through there and ran it up. Now, previously, this is where I had all my rocker switches. I've made a panel to go right here, like the ashtray switch panel. I'll leave a card at the top there if you want to click on that to watch that. That's where I had all my rocker switches through, so that's where I'm going to mount the new one. So all I did was I just made a new one. Looks like this right here. Of course, I grabbed it before it was completely dry. So I just have a big hole at the top here for the wiring to pass through, and 2 holes in the bottom for the bracket. So that'll sit like this right here. Just like that. And then I'll just use some self-tappers to get it secure on there after this is all together. And then this bracket right here is just going to sit just like that. And then it has its hardware for it. And then on the back of your switches, you have that bracket right there, which I went ahead and mounted. I just used the 2 smallest screws right here and right here So for the rest of this, of course, you don't want to mount this until you get the bracket on here. So in the rest of the hardware bag, you have all different size screws and stuff. But I'm just going to use the 4 Allen screws. You have 2 different sizes. You have a really small one and then a little bit bigger one. Just like that there. The one that's bigger gets the washer and the bolt. And that's what connects this to this panel. So what I'll do is I'll just take it, put it through there, and through there. Take the other side, so make sure you don't lose anything. There we go. Alright, she's lined up. Now this is the reason why I said not to bolt it down just yet, because you will need to pull it out to be able to put your washers and your nuts on the back of it. So that bracket's on there, it's not going anywhere. And then to mount your switches to this bracket, that's where your smaller Allen head will come in. And it just goes on the outside of it, which make sure you have it orientated right. Okay, like this. So it just sits on the outside, and it's already threaded in there, so you don't have to worry about putting a nut on the back of it. So it just sits on the outside just like that. Right there. Take you a bolt and just get it started. Alright. So I got that tightened down. This is what it looks like. Remove this off of the wiring. The little screw cap. So I didn't have to drill a super big hole just for that to go through. So now I can just feed my wiring through that hole. Just like that. Then I can take my little screw cap here and just work it back onto it. Now again, this is where it can go from, alright, I'm done, to, okay, something's not right. Make sure you are connecting this correctly. Again, make sure you are connecting this correctly. So I got my letters on the bottom and my arrow at the top, as well as this groove right here. Push it on, and then just use your little screw cap. And then you can just tuck your wiring in here, and it'll sit in there just like that. Now you can move this up and down. Of course, it'll be better once I get it bolted in. I can, move it up and down. But about right there is going to be perfect. I can reach everything just fine. Alright, let me go ahead and put a couple of self-tappers in this really quick. Alright, I got everything hooked up, hood closed. Everything's ready to go. Went ahead and put my stickers on here. And this thing is adjustable. So if you don't want it facing to you, you can have it facing the other way. Like that. Straight up and down. So it does have a good angle on. I can have my arm on the armrest and get to my buttons just fine. So I went ahead and got my stickers on here. I have my front pod lights, the rear pod lights, which I'll be hooking up in another video. My auxiliary fan, my rock lights, which I need to hook up. And for giggles, I have the fish box and then just a blank here. So I'll go ahead and we'll put the key in and see if this thing turns on. Oh yeah, check that out. Now I will say these stickers that they give you, I would say that they are reusable to a certain extent. I wouldn't say for a really, really long time, taking them on and off. But they are some really good quality stickers, I will say that. It does have an auto dimming option, as you can see there. It's just picking up the light from my header here. So go ahead and click the button, and I need to adjust those pod lights. So the front pod lights are on, as you can see there. You can hear the relay click on and off. It also has a memory setting, so if I get out of the Jeep, have the key turned off, or even just turn this off, like that, click it back on, it'll automatically turn on those pod lights. So let me go ahead and show you guys that on the garage door. So there they are, on, off, on. I'll hit the red off button, hit it back, and there's the memory setting. So yeah, man, that's pretty cool. I do like that. I like that a lot. Alright guys, and that's how I installed this Auxbeam 6-gang switch panel. If you'd like to pick you up one of these, or even the 8-gang, go ahead and head on over to backyardjeeping.com. There also is a blue or a green LED option. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit up the Instagram and Facebook at Backyard Jeeping, and I will see you guys in the next one.